Welcome to Beyond Bitcoin's bonus Hangout edition. To help further educate the BitShares community of potential partnerships and opportunities that reaches well beyond our ecosystem. A common ground where ideas and plans come to unite, wielding the true potential, possibilities, and power of the blockchain technology that we call BitShares. If you feel engaged to participate in these crucial conversations, then please visit beyondbitcoin.org for future Hangouts. Also, please remember to vote for our BitShares delegate, Fuzzy.BeyondBitcoin, to help keep our community informed and up to date. On behalf of the Beyond Bitcoin crew, we want to say thank you, and we appreciate your time and trust. Now let's listen in to our current guest.
This is a Beyond Bitcoin Hangout with Ronny Boesing from CCEDK, the exchange that is now going to be, I believe, the first Fiat gateway for the BitShares ecosystem. They are also working on a project called the Nano Card. And I'm going to open it up for how the format that we normally go through is project updates, but this would be more of an introduction for you. So if you could give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself and then the exchange and the Nano Card, and we'll open it up to community questions. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to speak up. Of course, respect those who are already speaking and wait your turn. Or if you are a wallflower and you don't like to really speak up, please feel free to type your question in the message box on the left-hand corner of the Mumble client, and I will open my loudmouth and ask it for you. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and pass the torch on to you, Ronny.
Well, let me just start off by saying that I was introduced to the basic, the cryptocurrency world sometimes early last year. So I'm pretty new in all of this, at least when it comes to cryptocurrencies. Doing business and speaking to people around the world, it's basically what I've been doing for the last 30 years. So I guess I'm pretty common or pretty used to that one. I know and understand that sometimes people in the cryptocurrency world is speaking some language, which, in terms of technical issues, which I many times have to, just stop and say, well, I'll leave it for somebody else to translate that to me, because I am basically more into the way of speaking to people, and obviously I can hear when you guys are speaking here also that, that part I would easily be able to answer, in just speaking, yeah. I'm not one of those guys who is gonna bring some, some questions or some answers to how you get, this, cryptocurrency into the, second level, in the shortest time.
Are you talking in terms of the technical aspects of it?
Yeah, or in general, I guess, because what I see is a growing community, and I guess when it comes down to it, I guess it's really a question of how dedicated each person who is involved with this is, in order to how quick it will be broadened or spread around the world. Because I understand that there's a lot of dedicated.
What dedicated?
I could keep speaking about how I started even also, but I just wanted to just say that I started from basically not knowing anything to cryptocurrency, and within this last year, it's really been like I've been doing it for years, at least in terms of how much input I got. Whether it's all clearly understood, only future will show, or time will tell. But I really got so much input from various sides, even, and I guess at one time, I get so many inquiries for currencies who would like to be added to the exchange, and at one time I said, I would love to know about every single currency and what it's all about. But I also realized that for me, it was impossible to really catch all if I just had to sit and speak with everybody and get it down. So I actually took some of the things I was taught, or which I actually learned through the study that I'm doing at the moment. Also, I'm studying as a bachelor for a bachelor degree, that is, in the university. But in that, I found out. Yeah, I found out actually how to do some criteria sheet, etc. I mean, things which I never really used before. Before I was working only on gut feeling and how to judge and find out how people are. But throughout this study, I found a lot of some tools which I could then use. And eventually I found out that, oh, wow, the technical parts, these tools are actually basically confirming my gut feeling. So
there are things that you figured out over time. Do you mind if I ask you? Do you mind? I hate to interrupt you, Ronny, but you said that you were studying for a bachelor's degree in something, and that all of this seems like it would be interesting to hear what field you're studying.
I'm studying something called export and technology management.
Okay.
So I started that out because I felt that I needed some kind of some technical insight in the export management and sales that I already had as a backbone thing. Yeah, basically integrated in the backbone of myself. Yeah. So, but I was struck in many ways that the technical part I was missing, or as a minimum, I couldn't show anybody that I had that knowledge.
Sure.
And of course, taking that or starting that, I found out then afterwards that suddenly this technical part was also giving me some understanding that I didn't have before towards various aspects. So it's basically been even making me a richer person to add that, and I love that aspect. Yeah? To be more rich in all those ways as knowledge.
So do you feel like it validated, like, this is all information that you already had an intuition about because of your life experience and what your chosen fields were, where you actually worked, got your hands dirty in this, and it was going to the university was kind of to add the technological aspect to it that you might felt that you needed to be a little bit more spun up on. And also you have a means of showing people that, hey, I do understand and know this stuff beyond my experience.
Yeah, I guess in this kind of way, you could say that, because, when I started school again, I was meeting people. They were all, between 18 and 23, most of them. And when I came to school the first time, they actually thought I was a teacher. Yeah. I'm 48 and now I'm 49. So.
Well, you could probably teach them a lot.
Yeah. Well, actually, eventually it turned out also the way that, part of this class or the study is, of course, in terms of marketing, selling and all this. And there was a lot of stuff that I could tell them, but I also found out that it was hard for me to explain because it was all based on, experience and gut feelings and whatever. Yeah. Really, like, sure. Life experience tells you that this is right. How are you going to how will you prove that it's right? Well, I actually took this study in a way in order to be able to prove it. Not just me saying, but in reality to have it in writing also afterwards. So, sure. So basically this study for me will be, a way of putting down on paper, all my life experience and then combining it with some technology aspects. And in the end, of course, I come up to this point where you could say that, wow, this study I start, and now I'm combining it with some technology that was not at all, of course, thought of when I started school. I mean,
that's what I wanted to get into.
Practically, internet wasn't even started at that time. I mean, can you imagine when I started actually in my selling career in the early 90s, we were corresponding on the base of telex.
On the what?
I mean, we were telex. I mean, it's called a telex. What do you call that? I mean,
telex.
Like a data, telex or telex.
Sure. Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
So basically, when we wanted to have people's attention, we just pushed this button on the right side, like a ringing bell. Do. Yeah. I mean, wow. And that's practically 30 years ago. No, well, it's 25, I guess. But time goes so quick. At that time, internet wasn't really thought of, yeah? So.
Sure, and technology.
It was thought of, but it wasn't very ubiquitous.
Yeah, I think it was, what did they say, 95? Was it 95 they said internet is actually picking up? Was that 95?
Yeah, 95 was a year that, in 1994 was when CERN published the whole World Wide Web protocol, and Andreessen put the first website up, and then NCSA Mosaic came into being, and it started going off from there. And then about 4 years later, it became very commercialized, and it was really booming big time, and lots of investments came into the space.
I guess even at that time, in the end of the 90s, was the .com things, yeah?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the time I bought my first domain names.
So what got you into the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and then obviously now the BitShares ecosystem?
I mean, the basic, the way I got into that, it was because of a good friend of mine thought of me, and that basically that's another way of confirming that you never burn your bridges when you're working. You always try to, if you want to leave something, you always try to leave it with your head up and able to look people into the eyes. Yeah.
Sure.
Because this guy came to me after like 25 years. We've been speaking or corresponding every once in a while, but maybe it could be 5 to 8 years between. Very good friend from the 90s. He was one of my best and biggest distributors in the 90s. And he came to some idea last year, or basically end of 2013, where he said, well, Bitcoin seems to be a way of, something where we can really build something. There's a lot of potential and so on. So he was looking into this. He had his own big business with, nothing to do with anything of the internet media at all. But he said, I'm looking for something which could be worthwhile for the future. So he looked into this, and after, let's say, 4 or 5 months, he said, oh, now it's time, really. I want to... At first, he thought about creating a Bitcoin casino.
Mm-hmm. That was a big thing at the time.
Yeah, but he found out that if you really wanted to get into that, first of all, a normal casino would cost, $100,000 of dollars. Yeah, it didn't pay off to do it to buy or get involved with a standard one because the license was so expensive for that. And of course, even the Bitcoin casino, you could do it anonymous. And I guess you could say that we actually also did that. We started that also. We have an anonymous casino involved as well in our, umbrella of businesses.
Sure.
But thing was that he said, I don't believe that the casino is the way to start. I believe we should start with an exchange and then build the casino on it, so that we are able to invite people to our exchange, and then basically synergy between exchange and casino. Again, he came up with that idea, and he said, well, where can I basically establish a casino? No, sorry, an exchange without facing too many problems in the beginning. So he looked around. He found out that basically Denmark, Germany, UK, Singapore, and I think there was another one also. They were at least the most liberal in that way, and Denmark perhaps even one of the most. And then he said, "Wow, I have one of my best friends actually living in Denmark. Maybe I should ask him if to head up. He wanted to be the head of this exchange." And when he called me and he said, "I have a business which I believe could be great for both of us, something to do with Bitcoin." And the only thing I heard of Bitcoin at that time was listening to some two students, which was part of the same class that I was attending. They were speaking about that, and I basically said, "Well, that sounds interesting, but I don't really have time to think of that right now." So, but he came and asked me and said, I have a business proposal for you, and I think it would be good for both of us. And immediately he said that, because it was him saying it, I was completely, caught. Yeah. I mean, completely ready.
So you must trust him a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I wanted to say at this time, that this guy is perhaps one of my best, what I could really a good friend we've had, without going into details with that. But throughout our distribution, we came across some incidents where we experienced some things, together with our people, which you don't normally experience. So it made us really feel that friends, yeah? And when a friend is telling another friend about a good thing, and believing that this could be something we should do together, you would normally listen. Yeah? And because I have a complete trust with this guy, we've trusted each other with a lot of things in that 5-year period that we were doing a lot of business together. I was immediately caught and ready. Just tell me how we start and where do you want me to be in this? Then I'm ready. So basically, for me, I started from 1 month. I was studying, and I was actually waitering tables in a 5-star hotel in the north of Denmark to get some money for all of this. And I was only working in the weekends. Actually, I didn't tell you that yesterday.
Well, it's okay.
But this part, that's I guess now you hear some more of this story that we talked about yesterday, where you tell a story but you don't tell it all. So now you got a little more here. So
you're talking about how I used to listen to my grandpa tell the same story the same day.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Exactly. Now I'm telling it again. Yeah. And at that time I had a weekend job combined with studying in the week. Yeah. I had like 40 hours from Friday at 5 o'clock until 10 o'clock Sunday night. And I was basically staying there and driving home Sunday night because it was like 120 miles away. So, and I couldn't really, there was no time to go back and forth. Yeah. So, sure. I was doing this for 2 years. Summers, I was working basically 7 days and 3 days off. This is just like a telling that I've been, in the time when I was actually considering what I should do after my music industry business, which I did 25 years in a row before. It was actually taking up a study and working weekends in a 5-star hotel as a waiter, without any other experience than the life experience. And that's what I sold myself on there. Actually, I came and said, listen, you need me because I know how to speak to these people, corporate managers or CEOs or whatever of each of these companies, they're all coming to this 5-star hotel, and wouldn't they love to just speak with somebody who could actually tell them, yes, it's not true what everything you're saying, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy I am. But yeah, I have a tendency to float around. Yeah, I mean, this is really me also. So you just have to stop me sometime.
Well, and I will. The reason why I wanted to open up with this and really I kind of want to get into the person too, who's here for the hangout, right? And
this is what I'm sharing with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about what we're doing in this movement, as far as I can tell, is what we're doing is we're seeing economics go back into the hands of the little guys. And what I mean by the little guys is those who are not part of these huge multi-trillion-dollar monopolies who have essentially stolen everything from us, leached the value in our wealth, and forced us to use currencies that essentially only lose value over time and force us into debt to use them. That is what cryptocurrencies essentially enable us to get out of and route. And it takes that power away from those systems and puts it back into our hands. And the reason why we do these hangouts and we bring people on, and I like to have the person speak about themselves and what they were doing, is it really helps to emphasize that aspect. The empowerment of everybody, right? We are all powerful. I like to say you are more powerful than you believe. And together we are unstoppable. That's the saying that I like to, I don't always bring it out, but that's what maybe I should say it at the end of every one of our hangouts. Because I really truly believe that it's true. Now, of course, we all have to be careful that we don't want to become our own monopolies, which is why I like to open these things up for everybody to speak. And I organize them, but you are able to attend and, make your own statements during these hangouts as long as they're respectful and everybody acts as though they are respectful adults, then we're good to go. There might be times in the future when we have to kind of pull it back a little bit, but we actually haven't had any issues yet. And we have been doing this for almost 2 years now. Weird. Wow. Almost 2 years now. Now, the reason why I wanted to get to that point, and I wanted to get into the cryptocurrency area a little bit, because it seems to me that your friend wanted you to start reaching out to these different individuals in the different business areas, right? Is that what I'm gathering?
Why he contacted me was, of course, because he knew that I was able to reach out to people.
Yes.
And he knew also that when I was reaching out to people, I was basically reaching out with, almost heart and soul, so to speak.
Yeah.
I might be like Robert De Niro or Al Pacino, where they really just go in and try to understand each character, deeply and all that. The difference is, however, that I'm not an actor. Yeah. I live it. I live it and basically try to bring my energy and passion. I try to make that clear to everybody that I'm actually like that.
And I don't even know, do you really feel like you have to try? Or do you think that's just something that exudes from you?
No, because you can see even now, I guess maybe there's somebody in this, in this forum who's saying, wow, this guy's talking too much or whatever. Yeah. But that's me. And I'm a happy guy. And I'm a happy guy, and I like to share things. And like my wife, she said, "You're just talking too much." And
my Lord, I hear the same thing.
But sometimes I get carried away because I just feel I have so much I like to bring out or share, and then I just need somebody to stop me because I don't stop myself.
Well, let's keep you going. Let's fork the road a little bit, and let's hear a little bit about the exchange. What do you tell people whenever you're talking to them about the exchange? when you're reaching out and you're talking to people about CCEDK, and it seems like CCEDK is a fiat gateway for these cryptocurrencies and an exchange in and of itself, correct?
I mean, it's how do I present CCEDK? I mean, basically, it is what we've been trying to do here for the last year is that we are a newcomer who believes actually we can create something big with time, and we are, we're operating from a country where the liberal way of looking at cryptocurrencies allow us to have some bigger space, you might say, than other exchanges. But in the same time, there are other things that might be a little bit more complicated, like the privacy policy part of it, which is pretty strict. So we constantly have to focus on that one. But yeah, I mean, I'm basically trying to tell people that we've been starting from zero and building up an exchange based on the currencies that we invite and the communities behind it. I mean, that's I guess one of the strategies that we are operating with is to try to basically involve the communities behind each currency entering the exchange. We said to ourselves that the way we could maybe differentiate between the bigger ones and ourselves, at least in the beginning, was to get more involved with each currency that we are having on the exchange. I've been having some success throughout this, I mean, through the last year with some of the currencies that we've entered. And others, it's been like saying, okay, we should try. And see, every time I'm going out and trying to communicate with people, I'm saying that one of the most important assets that we have at CCEDK is that we're trying to reach out to these communities who has their currency listed on our exchange. We are trying to reach out for them to interact with us, to basically create some kind of synergy with whatever we do. And I believe firmly in that. I believe that if we as the exchange, as well as the currency, has to have a chance to really succeed, we have to accept that we both have interests that needs to be, can you say, fulfilled. But we also have to accept and understand that in order to reach whatever goal is, we need to really work together and find ways where whatever we do can be used by the other part and then directed in whatever other direction, so that we in the end have covered so much ground. Yeah, and I mean,
sure.
This is what I tried. I mean, initially I tried pretty good with Next, and we did pretty good in the beginning. I had a lot of feedback, and wow, we got a lot of attention also. I mean, we got in Bloomberg, we got in Reuters, Thomson. I mean, which exchanges and which currencies got mentioned in Reuters and Bloomberg twice within 2 months? Yeah, I mean, that was
Sure.
Next and CCEDK. And that was basically because I found a niche or a way of, I mean, that's what I'm looking all the time when I'm trying to make new articles. I'm trying to find an angle of how to reach these media people to make it interesting to write about. And at that time, it was basically because this is Denmark introducing a new exchange, and they are introducing, let's say, a currency who is the first who is for the first time able to offer fiat to the currency. Yeah, I mean, as a fiat gateway.
Sure.
I mean, that was a big thing for Next at that time. They did not manage. Yeah, but they did not manage to embrace that possibility. I don't know why. I guess once again that yes, you might have a few people who are seeing the possibilities, but the rest is all of them perhaps looking at each of them. They're each looking at different things and not uniting, not thinking that in order to really make this happen, we need to come together and support it. And I mean, Next, they got a lot of media attention through the articles that we did, and I felt really good about that. But then it slowly, it slowed down after 2 months or so. And of course, we did Next afterwards, but really not in such a in really. It wasn't much, yeah. And the only thing I could say was, well, I'm trying, and I'm actually still trying. I mean, every once in a while I post some articles or whatever on their forums, and in order to see if we can get some feedback. And I mean, not only that, we managed to, what was that? That's today actually. Even we managed to do both Next and FIMK, this cloned currency of Next. We managed to put both of them in auto mode in our system. I mean, and previously we've been working on that in doing it, well, I mean, like auto or manually or whichever way. I mean,
may I interrupt you for a moment and weigh in a little bit?
Uh-huh.
I'll say this. I love what you guys are doing. Okay. But I want to give you a little bit of feedback as far as what I think might be an issue. And NXT, we can look at them as a competitor or not. It doesn't really matter. Regardless of the fact that I'm a BitShares fanboy, all of crypto really needs to come together around a few things. And that one of which is that if we're going to make cryptocurrency work, we need to all adhere to the same principles that originally drew us into cryptocurrency. And one of the things that I think that you are probably running into with NXT is that they are very much against the whole idea of having to put down their name and their information to create an account through a fiat gateway. And I'm going to say this just from my perspective because I just actually left Polynex. I love Polynex as a place to exchange cryptocurrencies and purchase cryptocurrencies. But yes, Michael Catt, anti-regulation. Satoshi Nakamoto came out with and actually put into Bitcoin's Genesis block an article regarding the banking cartels bailing themselves out yet again to the tune of numerous hundreds of billions of dollars toward themselves, and basically took it away from taxpayers and from citizens. And it wasn't the citizens' fault, right? So whenever the generation that's getting into cryptocurrency is very much aware of the stranglehold and the lies that have been told to past generations. And the internet has really facilitated us teaching each other these truths. And now we find ourselves in this stranglehold where the current regimes are trying their best to get us to funnel ourselves into places where they can locate and put down our names and then start tracking everything because we know that they're tracking everything we do. But it makes it easier if I buy my Bitcoin through Coinbase or someplace like that, where they force me to put in all my real information and verify my account and connect my bank account and all that stuff. It's far easier for them to track everything I do illegally, or rather unlawfully, than it would be if I bought my local Bitcoins directly on local Bitcoins from somebody who is just an individual like everybody else here, right? And that might be the issue. There's the benefit and the amazingness of, yeah, guys, we've got a way that everybody can buy Next or BitShares or all these different cryptocurrencies with fiat currency. But guess what? At the same time, they're scared to actually have to put in their information, because guess what? This whole propaganda of terrorism, let's not even get into the fact that governments generally in power right now are funding terrorists. But the likelihood that, everybody has to be treated as a terrorist these days. And we don't like that, because we know that we're not guilty of anything. And we recognize and value the idea of being innocent until proven guilty. So people are a little bit afraid, because they recognize the current power structure is not exactly benevolent towards those of us who want to use technology to free humanity and incentivize sharing and open sharing of things, right? So that might be the issue that you're running into. They probably wanted to get a lot of press to it, and we're very thankful and appreciative. But then on the other end, they're probably sitting there going, my gosh, do I really want to put my name in here if there's this cyber terrorism attack and it was funded by Bitcoin, and now all Bitcoin and cryptocurrency users are cyber terrorists, and they're going to have to watch everything we do and monitor it or put us in prison, And we live in a time when that actually is not that insane of a concern, right? So that might be what you guys are encountering, the long version.
Right. I mean, I hear you, and I think that's I fully understand that part. I mean, after all, we are dealing with basically the cryptocurrencies who was established initially to stay away from that part. But also, I guess everybody realized that in order to make use of this cryptocurrency, you do need to somehow get it back to the real world. I mean, you need butter on the bread, so to speak. And of course, you need that. How you do it, it's an open question, and eventually you could do like the Russians who do barter trade and all that, but I think here we're speaking more getting into fiat and even fiat. I mean,
sure.
And average normal person, even speaking English, would not know what fiat is unless you explain to them.
You're right.
Fiat is an expression established inside the crypto world, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, I never knew about fiat before, and whenever I speak about fiat to my friends, they say, "What's that?" And I have to explain. So I guess it's something created inside this area.
Well, I would actually say it's been created a long time ago. What the term fiat means by decree, basically, right? It doesn't have value except somebody has a gun, tells you it has value, and if you say it doesn't have value, they can shoot you. So it's almost like it's brought into existence and used because of force. So fiat it's interesting that a lot of the population doesn't understand it, but actually fiat is recognized by many people in the liberty movement. The people who, like you used the word liberal.
Well, in Europe, it's everybody who's familiar with the euro kind of understand I don't know how it was in Denmark, but we used to have a pretty solid coin tied to gold, the guilder. And so I think most of the Dutch people are very familiar with the whole concept of fiat.
Well, that might also be because you guys were, a lot of the Eurozone was forced into being in the Eurozone. They didn't have a real say, did they?
No. As the Netherlands were forced, they did everything in their power, and everybody tried to get what you call that, one of these public votings on it, but it was always maneuvered that we weren't able to vote on it.
I guess I can follow that one. I mean, we stayed hard. I don't know how we managed. Maybe it's the Viking spirit inside of us. But I mean, at least we got away, same as the Swedes and the Norwegians, and yeah. I mean, the Finnish, I guess they felt they had to enter.
I think you were first, and as soon as everybody noticed that everybody was voting out, refusing to become part of the euro, then they started because we were too late to do it, and then they noticed that they wouldn't be able to push the euro anymore.
Yeah, right. I mean, that might be actually. I mean, but it takes only one little guy to bring people to start thinking: is it really so or not? And I guess at least in Denmark, people have realized what they thought all along, that we are feeling good even though we are not in euro. I mean, we manage. We're doing good. We're still keeping the export the way we want. I mean, so why should we lose the independence? And that's what people think.
The euro was that everybody knew that this current situation would happen. Actually, it's France and Germany who pushed it. And even though the countries like Greece, they were even asking them for what happens when we can't pull our own weight. And
look at them now.
Yeah, so the whole thing about the whole act about this being a surprise is completely ludicrous.
Yeah.
But at the same time, fiat gateways are important for cryptocurrencies. You're right. And that's actually one of the other reasons why I've been focusing on things like 3D printing and things like that, because I think that if we can purchase products directly with cryptocurrencies, that'll be another avenue. And knowing that you're in the publishing and distribution areas in the past, that might be something to consider. But the thing that's valuable, it's really valuable still that CCEDK has that. It's just, the question is how many people who started out with the original philosophy are going to use that. You guys also do have the nano card though, right? Which enables people to use, to load it with cryptocurrencies and spend, right?
Yes. And of course, that's a new addition to it all. And it's funny how, I needed to get, I didn't really understand it in the beginning that we really managed to be able to have something that we could feel or say that it's almost our own. Yeah. I mean, that we can do this, and build on it, in a way that you seldom get a chance to do. So it's really a unique position we have right now, being able to introduce a card, and it has to be. I mean, I even spoke to Bytemaster, or I wrote to him earlier, and I said that basically the way we have to promote and put forward this card, this nano card, is as an alternative to the established ones like Visa card, MasterCard, Diners card, etc. I mean, and the whole idea with it was actually to put it up as an alternative to that. I mean, calling it nano card. Nano card, and nano is basically also, I mean, when you think of nano, it's something in the future also, yeah? It's almost unreachable, yeah? But it's also meaning hard and strong in so many ways. I mean, I know because I've been working with nanotube and nano diamonds not so long ago. Also trying to get involved with that.
To interrupt real quick, Method X here asks, why not call it something like the Liberty Card?
I mean, because I have to say I was not the one choosing that name. Yeah? But
sure.
The way I am even working and the way I'm living is that when I find something which I really appreciate and like, I start building up likenings. Or what can you say? I mean, I start building up
an appreciation.
So many different appreciations of that specific product. I mean, why do I like it? Yeah. I mean, but maybe it's because I'm thinking sales incentives all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and why do you like the Nano Card then? Let's go with that. What really draws you about the Nano Card that keeps you wanting to work and talk about stuff like that?
So basically, I wanted to say that today I was getting connected with a website called Head Talk, presenting something like going viral. And I never, of course I read about viral before, but and I knew what it was all about, but I never thought of it, And then this guy linked to me today, headtalker.com. And I got involved this morning. I started saying, okay, how can I make something happening with NanoCard this way? So I basically came up with some strong points, and you will see this. You will see this already presented in the BitShares talk, and I think I put it up under community because I didn't really know where to put it at the moment. So I put a link up there. But basically, it goes like, what do I want to bring out to people? Okay, I said, NanoCard is funding your dreams. Yeah. And in which way? Well, I say NanoCard, it's like three different worlds in one card. It's the payment system, international money system, and internet money everywhere. Yeah. I mean, that's my way of explaining. And then I said, what can you do with the NanoCard? You can fund your dreams instantly. And the first step is right now, where you can actually, anywhere and whenever, support it with Bitcoin, go out and use this NanoCard. And there's step 2, which is coming soon, and which I hope is soon involving also the smart coins or the BitUSD and so on. It's like, going out in real life, anywhere and whenever, supported with the Fiat pegged crypto, and mind you, avoiding volatility risk, go out and buy, spend money. Huh?
So you're saying that I could actually purchase, I could go down to the local restaurant and I could hand them my Nano Card with I could hand them my Nano Card with BitUSD on it.
That would be the idea, yeah. I mean, you basically say, okay, I have this BitUSD, and the beauty, and this is what obviously I need even more knowledge about, is how to involve the blockchain in this. How is it working? I cannot explain that yet. I'm not technical involved with that, but the bottom line is that at the moment you should be able to, put in some BitUSD on your wallet. And the idea is, of course, even to put it inside the blockchain where it's being pulled from in there out. Yeah. I know that Bytemaster loves that way of doing it.
Yes.
So that's the reason why we're going to have a talk. We're going to have a talk later tonight. Some more about this. Yeah.
Sure. The reason why he wants to do it that way is because the blockchain itself is basically immutable. Yes, it's very secure.
And I fully understand that. And that's why I love that part also. So I'm going to be the first frontier that he has already passed, Bytemaster, by explaining this way. I just need the enough knowledge and maybe some I need to grow some more hair on my head. I mean, all the ones I lost already. Maybe I need to grow hair to express me. Yeah. But really, I love it. I love the whole idea in this. So, I guess it's all a question of, just getting down to, because I have some partners which need to be explained it the right way also. Yeah. So
Sure.
I hope we will take that a little, later tonight, actually.
Well, I'll say this. Phoenix actually is asking a question, if you don't mind.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't want to forget it. Will we be able to get BitShares branded cards in the future? Is this something that you think that you could look into for us?
I think that's a question of, whatever you do in this, it's all a question of money. But then,
Sure.
in this way, it's internet money. Yeah. But it's money. Yeah. Because it needs to be either financed or supported. I mean, there needs to be some kind of liquidity saying, this is what we have. We are able to support it in a way, for people to be able to go out and get it. Yeah. So whether you are basically paying for it or supporting it in terms of a certain liquidity, I guess it's all a question of, that's up for discussion. Yeah. But
Sure.
That's the issue here. But I wanted just to bring down, the way I'm explaining, because I would love everybody in this forum also to go, afterwards, because I've just been told while we spoke that it's actually gone live, this, head talk. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm presenting it now out on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and people can then click on it and they will get an option, of saying we would support and so on. Yeah. And this way, I have put down that I need 500 supporters, in order to, for it to be pushed out to the maximum amount of people. Obviously, I was told that I could even increase the 500. Yeah. I could get past that. But right now I see that I have 6 of 500 supporters already. And my social reach so far is 743,721. At least I got already something. Yeah. This, what can you say? This campaign, like it says, this campaign will only be successful if it's supported by at least 500 people by August 9th, 2015, 12 p.m.
And what is the campaign?
This is the Nano Card Funding Your Dreams.
So the Nano Card is not actually in existence yet. It is something that needs to be put into existence.
What I'm actually saying here is that we have one step. We have step 1. We have the Bitcoin support Nano Card. We are going to step 2. I could have put 1 month, but the bottom, and this is, what can you say? If this is a crazy success, I need to know the impact of it, but I got caught. I really just felt that I needed to run this and try to see what happened. Yeah. So I must admit, I'm not sure exactly yet what is the impact of it, but I just love to bring it out to the public. So you should basically go and have a look at my Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn and read this one. Yeah. I just wanted to continue just to keep that because, to explain what the Nano Card is, the result of, getting this step 1 and 2, like I also say, is the needs of your loved ones are possible this way to be funded anywhere and whenever with Fiat-backed crypto, avoiding volatility risk. You find it all in Nano Card with no more need for international money transfer. It is the way of the future. Fund your dreams and help your family back home. And when I mean help your family back home, I'm actually trying to reach out to all the expatriates all over the world. So
sure.
part of this is actually like an easy way or an easy accessible way of making or not, to tell the family back home that you don't need to go down to the pawn shop, wherever, to pick up the money I've sent. You can actually just go whenever your family, other family members is there. You can go out and have dinner, whatever, and spend the money I put in my own wallet here back home on my PC.
Now, is that Nano Card wallet going to be depending on the CCEDK exchange being filled?
At the moment, yes. But I like the idea. What Bytemaster is also mentioning about, bringing it inside the blockchain. So let's see what we can do there. Yeah, we've been talking about having CCEDK integrated into the wallet of the currency we are dealing with. So if that's the way we're speaking, then we are pretty close to what we're talking about here. Because anyway, that would mean that all the action would happen inside the wallet and not outside. So, So we're close. So do
you mind if I ask two more questions kind of along these lines?
Yes, please.
Because the CCEDK and Nano Card and all this stuff this is big stuff for our community. So there are a lot of questions, which is good. I love our community asking questions. Once Upon a Time says, do we need to be KYC verified first before ordering the Nano Card, or can we do that later?
Can I actually step in here before answering that question?
Wow, how did you unmute yourself?
I asked to be unmuted. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
So, one of the things we can do with Graphene and BitShares 2.0 is do a withdrawal permission on a blockchain account containing BitUSD, which means that it should be possible to swipe your Nano Card and have the funds withdrawn directly from your blockchain account up to a certain daily limit. And what we're trying to do is work to have CCEDK provide a hosted wallet for BitShares. So you go to their website, and it's a complete exchange interface that is the interface to BitShares, and yet you deposit your BitUSD. You deposit USD right there on the website, and it shows up in your account as CCEDK USD, and then you can trade and do whatever. So that's some of the possibilities of basically getting Nano Card, CCEDK directly integrated with BitShares, and you can use CCEDK as your BitShares wallet.
And so that still means that KYC would most likely be required because they would need to have KYC verification.
Yeah, you have to think a little also on the limitations at the moment. Yeah, because if you go in and look at the limitations when it comes to countries, I'm not sure. I just had a Mojo help desk ticket established yesterday by somebody living in the US, and he was starting to say, why would I as a US citizen be ordering this card when it says under limitations that an American can only withdraw or use $250 a year, in limits. And basically, and what I answered back was, and I guess everybody who's listening here should go into NanoCard, to our web page on NanoCard and just read through it all, and then also push the link to the limits and fees. You basically always have to do that, also to just be sure everything is understood. But what I told him was that it is hard to go out and present a card of this magnitude to say, forget US, because it's not worth it. Because like in anything else, we know that certain changes, in the setup or whatever can be done, with time. So we don't want to exclude the US. We want to at least keep it open. But bottom line is that at the moment, US is mentioned because of regulations from the US side. Yeah. It is obviously some people from the US who are making it a little problematic for the moment being. But as I said to him also, I said, we are offering the first people who's actually applying. Not that you need to do it. You can always cancel again. He applied yesterday and asked me to cancel if it was so. I said, you can cancel, but be advised at least that the first 10,000 people who do apply and get the card, you don't have to activate it yet. So you don't lose anything at that time except the initial fee. You can activate it once things are bettered for the US. But because you order now, you actually have the monthly fees waived for life. And that's also what I write. Even in this special, viral presentation, I finish off by that because I think it's important. You never know. We have some strong people in the back, working on, lobbying and working on different, bettering pricing and regulations or whatever for the nano card. So we don't know. What was it? 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, it was the double in terms of the cost. What can you say? We were charging people when they were using the card. It was, the double of what it is now on both POS and cash ATMs. And that's bound to go down even further. So there's no doubt that we know as well as whoever is dealing with the mass products. You gain on the total, on the mass amount of use, not on a one-time use or few uses. Yeah, you're thinking the mass in it instead of one by one, and it's the same here. We don't even look in percentages here. We're looking in smaller units. Yeah.
Yeah. Now there's another question by Wild Wex. He's asking.
Wild West or what? Or Wild Wex?
No, Wild Wex, as in WEX.
I was thinking of the Wild West. Yeah.
Well, he might be from the Wild West. I can't tell you that. He would be the one to. But he says currently the nano card is being offered by BitX, which is
BitX.
BitX. But BitX I understand. But I understand CCEDK will be offering the card. Is there any difference between the two cards?
No, there's no difference because BitX is the partner we have in presenting the Bitcoin card. What should be considered is that we see it as an important aspect that we actually signed this agreement because it gives us the possibility to build further. BitX is not interested really in that part. They're more focused on what they have. What they've established. But we've been given the possibility to pursue these possibilities of, evolvement or development of this card into further cryptocurrencies apart from Bitcoin. Yeah. So that's going to be our niche. That's where we are going to pick up our users and our, basic future people. That's from that part. Anyone who signed up through CCEDK and has to, if they can't wait, we're going to be live, being able to activate it within, I've been told 2 weeks from now, I guess, because we've already started now to do the integration. So from 2 weeks approximately 2 weeks from now, we would be able to to bind or activate the card on our side. For the moment being, when you order, you are then guided to BitX, but you can always then go back to CCEDK, for instance, once it's up, and it will not be an extra charge of anything. Yeah. So,
Gotcha.
So that would be at that time. So, I mean, both of us are in this together, and we've been asked even from the beginning to make sure that BitX is mentioned clearly, because they want to be at least shown that they are the ones starting it. But I also realized that, after the initial part is that I'm going a bit more out, at least to the public, than BitX is.
Sure.
And that's perhaps because I don't mind presenting myself out there. I mean, I'm not worried about this part because I have the full trust of my partner that everything is working on that side. So I'm actually going out there with my what can you say, with me in front.
Yeah, so you're representing it, and you have no fear that stating a certain thing is going to hurt your reputation because you know and trust the person who's giving you the information.
Exactly, and also, I mean, we even had the talk the other day. I mean, the fact that I was told, look, for instance, MasterCard, they don't like to be mixed with anything else but their own product. So, for instance, they said, look, if you want to fund this, or if you want to promote this, you have to promote it. I mean, it doesn't matter how we are behind it. You have to promote it as a unique card of your own. Yeah, you cannot mention MasterCard or whatever. That's what they told. Yeah, and I like that point because in reality, I think with a successful introduction, even in the Fiat tech later on, I think we will stand so much stronger by not having the ties. I mean, if you can actually go out and sell it as a nano card, I mean, even the nano card says a little about technology and new wave stuff and all that. I mean, my point of view at least, and that is, I mean, it has to be presented as a card different from the others. Like I said, it's uniting the three. It's uniting those three different kinds of systems. Yeah.
Sure.
And that makes it unique. So right now, today, when I'm actually presenting that thing to go viral, whether it's going to be 2 months or 1 month, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it must be possible to adjust. Otherwise, I'll just have to make another one. I mean, but I want to bring the news out. So it's actually based on that TED Talker today that I managed to sit down and say, okay, we need to brand this product. I mean, we need to go out and say, what do we want to focus on? We want to focus on NanoCard. And what do we do with it? Well, we want to fund our dreams instantly. I mean, isn't that a nice slogan?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who wouldn't want to be able to fund their dreams? I mean, and if you can do it with NanoCard on the base of your own cryptocurrencies, why not? So, I mean, yeah. So, this thing, I don't know how to let everybody know where to go and click on it, but maybe it shouldn't be that easy for anybody. So, I mean, what they should do is just go to my Twitter account on the web and simply go there and click on the message, perhaps, or finding.
What are you talking about?
If you want to go in and support this viral message, I mean, you should actually. I would say you should go. You go to the Twitter, my Twitter account, CCEDK _ this at CCEDK _ and click on that to get the message, or even find it on the BitShares forum under community.
So it sounds to me like this message you're talking about making it go viral. Is this something on Twitter itself?
No, it's actually a website on its own.
So it would be theheadtalker.com/campaigns/nano card, all one word, -funding-dreams/. So if we want to see the nano card come into existence for the altcoin space, this is what we need to do. Is that correct?
Definitely. I mean, this is because we could say that the more support. I mean, this is a new. You have to understand when I'm getting caught with something, I'm acting on it, you know, and this I feel that how do I get the message out? And right now, I'm trying to get the message out what we have to bring, or what we are bringing to the world, yeah. And of course, the what can you say? The message is here that we will be looking to bring this second step. This nano card supported by the Fiat crypto card, yeah.
Sure.
Now I'm actually speaking nonsense right now. I lost my thread.
Well,
and
you
I
would
lost
be
the
bringing
front page.
You would be bringing the fiat pegged cryptocurrencies that we have would be the second step.
Exactly.
And that's the second step that you need. Yes. So you need community support and backing on this.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is rally that support to ensure that something like BitUSD and Bit Assets can be put to this card, and that people can start using that. Because like you said before, and it makes perfect sense, this is why one of the reasons why we're here is that we recognize the value of something that is a fiat pegged or even gold bit assets. These bit asset pegged currencies are far more, I don't want to say non-volatile, because non-volatile means a lot of things that might not necessarily be positive, but more predictable funds. For instance, if I have one Bitcoin on this nano card and Bitcoin crashes by 50% and I go on a trip thinking that $230 will be enough for me to buy a hotel room, and it crashes while I'm on the road, I go out and try to buy this hotel room. It might not get me the hotel room at the time that I try to purchase it. However, if I transfer it to BitGold or BitUSD or any number of these different assets that are more likely to hold and sustain a tighter valuation, the likelihood of me being able to get that same hotel room is far more likely, right?
I would like to just point out one thing. I mean, my focus here is, of course, on the fiat pegged cryptocurrencies, but there's also something in between Bitcoin and fiat pegged. There's, of course, the other cryptocurrencies. So I'm not going to go out and say, look, any other currencies is not allowed to enter this party. Yeah.
Sure.
But that's basically just a question of getting a deal together or finding out a way how to string this all. Yeah. This is an
right
open
here. I'm going to interrupt you real quick. Michael Cat in here says if it can accept Weibo, which is kind of like a Chinese version of Twitter, the supporters would instantly explode. Have you considered maybe you should talk with Michael Cat because they represent the Chinese side of our community, which I actually have BTS Wildpig from in the Beyond Bitcoin team to try to reach out on some of these issues as well. So you can also reach out to BTS Wildpig, but Michael Cat's right here. I would love
to reach out to everybody. I mean, the part of the exchange. I mean, part of CCEDK, or the whole philosophy of CCEDK, is to reach out to the world. I mean, there's a reason why we already have 17 language interfaces developed on the exchange, reaching out, I guess, 3 more in the next 2 months. So, I mean, and we, among others, is Chinese. So we just haven't gotten the last, I mean, like the BitShares, for instance, they haven't been follow up. I mean, we haven't done the Chinese version of that on exchange. But I would love, I mean, but anything, marketing, anything. I mean, I wanted actually to put that on the forum, that to try to find anyone, for instance, Chinese, but it doesn't really, I mean, there's other language. I mean, whatever nationality where there's a big community interested in this, yeah. And I would imagine,
Sounds good.
Any kind of community would be interested in this. But obviously, China is a big market and big potential. And I can only say, at the moment, ni hao to you, and then of course, xie xie, because you want to get into this, yeah, with me. And xie xie, if you don't know, then it's of course, thank you. So
I will use it more often then.
Yeah. Xie xie and ni hao is hello. So basically with ETC, what was it? Wild Pig, right? I think.
Yes. BTS Wild Pig.
BTS. I mean, you two guys try to reach me. I mean, reach me in whichever way. I would love to get into, what can you say, getting the message out there also. And yeah, any help is greatly appreciated. I just don't have the manpower and even myself the time to go out there and have it translated automatically. So I need help for that.
Sure.
But I would do anything else to support and help. Yeah. I would even do any kind of what can you say, way where even if I was needed to appear, let's say even in a conference on a later stage where in China, I would love to go there just to represent this whole thing. Yeah. But of course it has to be a certain magnitude or big enough for me to go there. But I'm sure that would be possible. Yeah. But I would do a lot. I would go very far to get things done. That's just final point of this.
Thank you, Ron, for showing up today. We're a little bit over, but that's okay. My
pleasure.
After we get all this taken care of, it'll probably be about 1 hour and 15 minutes, somewhere around there. So let's end it for today, and feel free to stop by and let's keep this going, because you know what, Ron, one thing I have found in my experience with this Hangout series is that persistence and just keep doing what you think is necessary, and that's half the battle, man. You know, the rest of it falls in place. So yeah, thank you for everybody who's always here. Thank you for everybody who's taken the time, because, you know, like Bytemaster said in his Hangout, these technologies are just technologies if we don't have communities that use them. And Ron recognizes that. He's a communaholic, just like I am. We love to drink up communities, and we love what they provide. It's
like good red wine.
Yes, you have me wanting to go get some red wine myself. If I weren't sick, I probably would. But anyway, yes, please feel free to come back around. Let me know. Keep me in touch, and if there's anything else that you ever feel will be helpful to the BTS ecosystem, let me know, man. I'll gladly bring you on and bring on the people who are pushing it, and we'll get it out to the community, because that's really where the rubber meets the road, right?
Could I say one thing just before I actually?
Of course.
I basically have to go and have dinner. My has been calling me for half an hour now. 2.5 years old, you know how that is.
Kids,
but I mean, I just wanted to say that if there's anything anybody needs, or I mean, questions or whatever, I mean, don't hesitate to either put a PM on the BitShares Talk forum, or even send me a direct email, ronny@ccedk.com. I mean, and at that time I will give you my Skype even, and we could talk like that. I would love, I mean, to speak about any way of development and getting things brought forward. So I'm all in. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah? And I appreciate it very much to be here today. As I said, I need to go just have a quick bit to eat before I need to catch up with Bitemaster and my partner here. So
well, you go enjoy your family, man. Don't get in trouble with the wife, and give your son a nice big hug and kiss.
I will do that. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Have a good night.
Have a good one, buddy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.